Hey everyone, I'm the Geeky Panda, your tactical degenerate weeb likes to play games. I'm also a squad partner out there, one of them, and I've been actually a squad partner for a while, but not too long ago, Honcho released his video on why squad sucks, and I finally got around into putting my 2 cents and recording and uploading it yesterday. So today, or yesterday-ish, he actually released his how to make squad great again. So I'm going to check out his video, see if our opinions align here, because there are a few things I would like to see squad going in a certain direction or fixing a few things. But, you know, overall, let's check this video out. 3, 2, 1, go.
How's it going, everyone? And welcome to the channel.
Yep.
A few weeks ago, I released this video. A video in which I kind of touched the surface as to why I feel like squad sucks right now.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems like a lot of you agree with me. Maybe not always on everything, but the feedback and comments from that video really drives the fact home that squad isn't in the greatest of places right now. So instead of focusing on the negative, I have a few ideas that might actually help push the game back in a good direction. Be it through better and more engaging game modes, offloading some of the weight squad leaders bear, and a few other things.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to say a quick thank you though to all of you for this.
Oh,
you
shit!
You guys have been massive these past few years.
Major congrats to Honcho for reaching 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. Fucking congrats, buddy. Hell yeah.
Content on Squad. And hitting 30,000 subs is something I never expected to see. Now, I've got a 30k Q&A video lined up, so if any of you have any questions you want me to answer, fire them in the comments down below. But without further ado, let us begin.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Right. The first thing I want to talk about is game modes.
Oh hell yeah, we're just going in it.
The main game modes that you see in Squad is Random Advance and Secure and Invasion. There's a little bit of territory control, and if you are really lucky, a bit of destruction will be sprinkled in.
Which is very, very fucking rare. The one thing why people don't vote for territory control or destruction is because people don't know how the game mode is played. Now, granted, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. The reason why people don't know how to play is because they don't play it, and the reason why they don't play it, they don't know how to play. It's that never-ending thing, and honestly, I mean, territory control was not bad. It could have been better. Destruction is not the same as it was in Project Reality. They need to overhaul that fucking shit, to be honest. But yeah, no, it's mainly RAS and Invasion, pretty much.
Random Advance and Secure only really has one major issue, and that is the diabolical lanes.
Fucking hell.
They are too predictable, too linear.
They are, again, I touched upon this. They are so fucking predictable. I'm going to move my webcam here in 2 seconds. They're so predictable. Like, again, after like the first point, you kind of have an idea where it's going. The second point is like almost a guarantee you know where it's going. It's just basically, you know, advance and secure, but just a few extra steps, you know, like his last video, a little Fog of War, but it's just too predictable. Way too fucking predictable.
And too repetitive.
Yeah.
It's either a guaranteed 5 or 7 cap.
Exactly.
And it either goes left, middle, or right.
Exactly.
There is nothing random about it. Some maps are so badly done that one team already has a massive disadvantage before they've even begun.
Oh god,
Manikugan is a classic example of this. If you start in the northwestern corner and your first cap is Dam Inlet, you are already massively on the back foot because your second cap is guaranteed and it is Abandoned Island. Now, to get there without a heli transport, which by the way, they are on a 10-minute delay for most factions and battle groups.
Oh my god, you gotta drive all the way around.
The 5th, 4th, and 3rd objective to double back on yourself to get to your second point. There has literally been no thought put into this at all.
No, there hasn't really.
The other issue with a lot of the lanes is the objectives themselves. There's so many amazing points of interest on the map that look like they have been handcrafted for fighting over, only to never be included in a game.
Honestly, very fucking true. It's like, you think certain points would be, you know, a point, but they're not. And you kind of wish they were, but they're not. I mean, it would be nice if they would revamp the maps to kind of introduce more diverse points. Like, hey, I would love to fight in here. Let's fight in here, you know?
So, how about going forward, instead of lanes being a guaranteed 5 or 7 cap, Why not give us anything from
Oh,
4
damn.
to 9?
Oh.
Depending on the map size, that is.
Oh, okay.
You know, with the devs saying that they want to put in some form of asymmetrical balance, but keep things fairly new player friendly, this would work and really mix things up. Large maps with a 9 cap player means you can make the game flow through the map much more fluidly, and saves it being a constant straight line.
I see where he's going, and I kind of like it. Like it's almost we're having like a tour of the map a little bit, but on a random scale. I like that.
Hell, years ago, some maps used to have a double point objective in the middle where it kind of split.
Yeah.
Fallujah had one of those, and they were great for fighting over.
Yeah.
Territory
You rarely
control,
ever see that
at
happen.
its core, is a fantastic game mode.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm like a take it or leave it type of thing. Like I'll play it, but I'm like, I don't like playing it.
However, whilst a lot of people do seem to misunderstand it, a few tweaks could make it even better. First off, I would increase the tile size. Not by a massive amount, but say about 30% or so.
Okay.
This would help spread the game out a bit more, which creates more space for tactics and strategy to be used. Next up, I would hide the enemy main, simply because this way you don't know which way the map's going to go from the get-go.
Okay.
Because my next change is, instead of having a bunch of tiles pre-capped like it is currently, make it so none of them are capped.
Oh.
So you have to capture them coming out of your main.
I like that. Like a total blank board. We don't know where each other's mains are, so we're just kind of slowly feeling through to kind of see where we meet. I like that idea.
But you can't see
that
which
is a fog
tiles
of
can be
war.
capped until you've captured the ones that are currently available.
Yeah, that is a really good
Kinda
fog
like
of
how
war
random advance
thing.
and
Yeah,
secure
hell
works.
yeah.
Theoretically, once the two sides meet, it's then very much like a game of Push of War, where two teams are locked in a battle of front lines. Keeping the fact that Habs can block tiles from being captured if they've been placed on one, this then promotes keeping the infantry on objectives, but also makes the teams decide on what's more important to focus on. The radio to take out that Hab, or focus on other tiles.
Oh.
Destruction.
All right.
Honestly, this game mode had so much potential when it first came out, and it can still be a bit of fun now and then, but in its current format, it's fairly flawed.
Yeah.
A better idea would be to cross destruction with invasion, similar to Squad 44's frontline mode. Let me paint this out for you.
Ooh,
Let's
okay,
use
Honcho's cooking.
Al-Basra and Al-Basra Invasion V1 as an example for this. The first point to attack is North Hangars. Make that one be an objective to capture.
Okay.
This then allows the attacking team a place to get established on the map rather than just constantly coming from main. Once that first point's been captured, if you now look, there's 3 possible cap points here. Basra Airport Camp, Basra Airport, and Basra Airport Admin. Instead of capturing them, make it so you have to destroy all 3 of these to advance to the next stage.
I like that.
Naturally, you get tickets per objective you capture and destroy to keep the attacking team in with a chance to progress, as defenders are usually dug in here. Now, keep it the same that sappers need to place C4 to destroy them.
I like that.
But also allow the commander's airstrike to be used to take one out as well.
I like that because if the defending team is holding it, if they're on their fucking A game and holding it like Fort Knox, the commander could be like, "Fuck it, we can use an airstrike to destroy the objective, even though we can't use it until later on when it resets." So I like that. You know, make it kind of like more like I like Squad 44 how they do it, like capture an objective. Oh, we got to destroy these objectives now. Then we got to capture this. No, I like that. I like that style of gameplay because now you make the combat engineers very useful and very like the VIPs essentially, because like, hey, your satchel charges, blow that shit up, you know. No, I like this. No, like OWI, fucking take notes, please. No, that's a really good call.
This makes the commander and squad leaders choose carefully what these command assets are used on.
Oh, hell yeah.
Things might be looking pretty dire, and that last point might just be out of reach of the infantry.
Yeah.
But if your commander has an airstrike available, that might just slingshot you back into the game. From here, make it so Guest House and Alcora have to be captured. This again allows the attacking team a new place to get a stronghold ready for the next part of the game, and rather than the usual 120 tickets that you get for capturing one objective, you would get 60 because you're capping 2. You still get the same amount, but it spreads the game out a bit. From here, Drug Lord would be the next one to destroy.
Okay,
This one will be more difficult, as the enemy team, if they've had any sense, will have fortified this one.
Oh yeah.
And the last objective will be Lower Fringe. This objective will be to destroy like traditional destruction. where you have 6
Ooh,
possible locations to
okay.
find, but as a twist, if you have, say, 30 or 40 infantry in that objective, you can capture it to win the game instead.
Oh,
So this gives you 2 options to win, because let's face it, it's the last objective.
Yeah,
If you've got
everyone's
that
gonna
under
be on
infantry
it.
control, you would just blow it up at your own due will anyway, wouldn't you? Honestly, I think this will be way more engaging for both teams.
No, that it totally is. That would make things more interesting. Like you get that variety with the different gameplay in there. Like I like it. Adding like the Squad 44's mechanics on how they do their invasion mode into with capturing objectives and destroying objectives. I fucking like that. That is a really good call.
Really adds something different.
Yeah.
Now, yes, there is also Insurgency, but with Squidders being part of Offworld now, and his knowledge with how AI works, as you can see from the seeding game mode, I feel they may be slowly cooking something there.
I mean, right now, yeah, I do agree. Like, let's just get rid of destruction, bring it into invasion, having the destructible invasion, destructible modes. Insurgents, we'll kind of wait and see. Hopefully, they'll pull it off. You know, maybe we'll see what happens. But no, I think that would be really cool.
Now, I would actually like to propose a game mode too, and bear with me on this one.
Yep.
I don't care what people say. A lot of the squad player base has at some point in our lives played Battlefield.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm on about the OG ones. Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3 or 4.
I've been playing Battlefield since 1942, baby. Yep, Battlefield 1942. Played it to high hell and the Desert Combat mod. And I played basically every Battlefield game to date. So everything, including play for free.
Because that's also where Project Reality spawned from.
Yeah.
But back on these 3 battlefields, their game mode Conquest was by far a fantastic game mode to play. Well, why not relive that in Squad? We could call it Secure and Control. You could try it on the smaller maps, like Kokan first, but I think this could be a real gem. There's a few ways that this could be done.
Okay.
First suggestion is you could really go down the Battlefield Conquest alley and just remove fobs. You have your main base to spawn at, and you can place down rallies or use a mobile spawn vehicle. This would work well on the smaller maps for sure, as it gives a real heavy infantry focus, and it gets squad leaders using their rallies properly. But across the map, there will be 5 or 6 control points that can be capped at any time in any order. Now, instead of gaining 60 tickets per cap, lower that down to 20, because there will be a lot of toing and froing with the caps going back and forth.
Yeah.
And it will be a bit meat grindery. But again, I think it will have its own charm, especially with all the different factions to choose from, and that small nostalgia kick from it.
I like this. Again, I enjoyed Conquest mode a lot, and I think like on the smaller maps it would make sense. On the bigger maps, you know, I would think maybe having the fob capability be there, but on as a spawn point itself. But if it's getting challenged, you can't spawn there anymore. And you have to rely on rallies and shit unless they get wiped out. I mean, it would be a very interesting game mode because it just basically harkens back to how it first started in the OG Battlefield days. And again, I love playing Conquest mode. And it's I like that it's like, okay, we'll get these objectives, and then certain objectives can just change hands constantly while you're trying to hold down others. So that's an interesting idea.
Now, it could also work on the bigger maps. On the bigger ones, fobs can be built.
Yep, okay.
But they cannot be built on the control point themselves. They have to be a minimum of 300 meters away or something. This way, you can't just super fob off a control point.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
Now, the larger maps, vehicles will really play a key part because speed is key, especially when there's 7 or 9 objectives to capture across the map.
Yeah, on a bigger map, it would basically essentially turn into a super fob. I take back what I said. You're right. Like, you could place a fob off the point at a certain distance, but you can't put it on it because you're just going to essentially make it like Fort Knox and make it almost impossible to attack.
Honestly, this would breathe some real freshness into Squad without taking
a little
away
spice of life and variety goes a long way.
You don't have to leave the objectives when you control them. You can stay and defend them.
Yeah.
But it puts a real emphasis on using your rallies, fobs, and initiative. But having mentioned getting around the map, I have a suggestion that I think may really help with every single game mode in Squad. There's nothing worse than having to move large distances in squad,
Yeah.
especially when you are semi-cut off, or your team has fallen foul, and you are wildly out of position,
Yeah.
and your only spawnable place is main, or a hab that's in your backlines
Yeah.
off to the side.
Yeah,
If you
too
have to walk,
fucking true.
this just doesn't even bear thinking about, especially if your armor squads are non-compliant or can't transport troops. Well, a great way to get people using vehicles to move around the map will be to slightly change how the vehicle repair station works. And this is an
Oh,
idea
really?
that Armor Reforger has really cemented for me. But that's using the vehicle repair station to be somewhere you can spawn in either a transport truck or a jeep. You can't spawn a vehicle with a weapon,
Okay.
simply just transport. And this would require your fob to either have enough construction and ammo for it, or a new supply of its own, and let's say just call it fuel, for example. Now, this will be something that only squad leaders can do,
Okay.
and there will need to be a cooldown timer on it.
Yeah, and you need
so
to limit
one
how many
troglodyte
spawn.
can't just spam away.
Yeah,
all of your
exactly. Yeah,
supplies.
yeah. Okay.
But if you have enough resources to create this vehicle, then your squad leader can walk up to it and create one. This will honestly help people get around the map so much better, which reduces downtime. But naturally, on the other edge of the sword, it runs the risk of your team handing the enemy team plenty of tickets if these vehicles just get randomly dumped everywhere
True.
after one-time use. But I tell you what, if insurgents can do this to spawn in motorbikes, ID factories will become serious danger in squad.
Oh God, yeah.
Now, on the topic of squad leaders, my next change.
Yeah, I think I think you got something going on with the idea. It might need to be fleshed out a little bit. I wouldn't mind seeing, maybe randomly placed vehicles around the map, like civilian vehicles that you can just drive into. But spawning a vehicle, like just a truck, no weapons on it. The only thing I would be worried about if, again, spamming it too much, but having SLs only do it, cooldown timer, and you need to have logistics in, like supplies in the vehicle to spawn them. I think that, yeah, I think that would be pretty good. And you just have to be careful. You can't just like leave those trucks out because again, they're like what, five tickets each, and the enemy, like, I'm in my mindset, I'll be like, let's just destroy every truck we can find, deny the enemy wheels and take out their ticket. Yeah, that would be interesting. It would help solve the running simulator.
Maybe
of squad.
somewhat controversial, but what's the one thing all of you complain about all of the time?
Optimization. Wait. Optimization. Optimization. Is it optimization?
Locked squads.
Oh, no, never mind. I was totally wrong. Okay, lock squad.
Well, what I propose will not only fix this, but I think will actually increase the amount of people willing to squad lead. And that's simply the ability to set how many people you want in your squad. Now wait, hear me out.
Okay.
Before you start pitchforking me in the comments.
No.
Locked
Wait.
squads
Let me
are
cook.
generally made for two reasons. To do a specific role,
Yep.
or because the squad leader doesn't want to have 8 other degenerates in his squad screeching at him all of the time, because that shit gets overwhelming.
And honestly, it does. Like, I've seen games where people bitch and like, what are all these lock squads? And I look at it, okay, armor makes sense. Logistics, he only needs to be by himself, totally makes sense. Mortar fob or tow fob makes sense. Having a small squad. No, I can see that working. Like, you don't need the full 8 if you want to have a small team, and you could be a small team. I think you gotta have a minimum though. But no, or just a max. No, I do like that idea.
Especially when the other squad leaders are just as bad. Allowing the squad leader to set the amount of people they want in their squad means they can run a mortar squad. That's
Exactly.
At 4 people.
Yeah.
It's open. So anyone can join that squad, so long as there's space.
I think having this is why I love Squad 44. They actually have a UI system of infantry, logistics, vehicles, and I'm thinking to myself, and vehicles, there can only be certain amount of squads for vehicles and logistics. But if we go in depth a bit more, like, okay, we'll have infantry, then we'll have very specific like logistics and other roles, like, okay, logistics, tow fobs, mortar fobs, etc. And vehicles, okay, here's our armor side, but hey, here's our dedicated pilots. They don't need anyone else in there with them. Let them fly. Let those beautiful bastards fly. If you have a system like that, like an organized system, and the ability to set how many people you want in your squad and kind of structure it. No, that could. There we
This
go.
means there's the squad leader. They've then got their 2 people on the mortars
Yep.
and 1 person running logistics.
Yeah, you don't need a full 8-man squad to do mortars. Honestly, you only need like at best like 3 or 4 people tops. That's it. Like as the squad itself, including the SL.
The same goes for an armor squad. If it's a 3-manable tank, then it can be set to 3.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
It's a 4-manable tank, it can be set to 4. And then that's an open tank squad that anyone can join without the squad leader having to worry about people joining them just so
Yeah.
they can grab a certain kit.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
Can leave
It's
that squad
so
open and say,
fucking annoying.
Hey, we're a tank squad. This is what we're doing.
And you can set it up where it's like, okay, hey, well, this is the tank, so you're only getting, arm, can't even speak here, like certain kits for it,
Kit.
like having if you're joining the squad for this reason, only certain kits will be available to you. Like if you're joining if you make yourself become a pilot, only pilots kits you'll have available. If you're making squads, armor kits only available, with the exception of a medic because you can heal yourself, or maybe add in like a medical role in there to kind of heal yourselves or whatever. But yeah, no, I like it, and having logistics squad be like, okay, logistics. So these amount of kits will be available to do, not these, but infantry squads, you'll have all these kits available to you. Make it structured like that. Like Hancho planted the idea, I watered it, but like, ooh, let's add my. No, I like this.
They
I
can
like
leave
this
that squad
approach.
open and say, hey,
Yep.
we're a tank squad. This is what we're doing.
Yep.
If you don't want to be a part of the tank squad,
Yeah.
you have to join somewhere else.
Yeah, fuck off.
You're not locking the squad and kicking people over and over
Exactly.
again. If a new squad leader wants to squad lead a team of 6, let them. They'll potentially have more confidence and control
Yep.
over the 6 than
Oh,
a
hell
9-man.
yeah. Hell yeah.
But the more experienced squad leaders will still run full-length open squads.
Yeah.
And so what happens is you will see the end of 90% of locked squads. The few that is locked will be due to waiting for a friend to join, but
Yeah.
that squad then gets opened up for the rest of the game once they're in.
Yeah.
So when you join halfway through, pretty much all of the squads are all open. Honestly, really think about this one, because it's something I've been talking about for a while, and I genuinely think the positives massively outweigh the negatives.
I agree with this totally. Again, if you structure like Squad 44 with infantry logistics or TOFOBs, mortar fobs, and stuff like that, and vehicles, including vehicles and helicopters, and having specific kits available to each, I think it would be fucking beautiful. And the ability to set how many people you want and all that stuff. This would make things run so much fucking easier trying to get a squad set up. Like, that would fucking work. Fuck yeah.
You know, other than the obvious things such as optimization,
Yes.
bug fixes,
Yep.
and quality of life changes,
Yep.
I genuinely feel like these suggestions would be a massive uplift for squad.
They would go
Hell,
a long way.
Simply adding weapon resting would be a huge
Oh, fuck
beneficiary
yeah.
to infantry
Fuck yeah.
gameplay. And even the tutorial could do with a top to bottom overhaul.
The tutorial does need to be overhauled. Like, the tutorial is only legitimately good for just learning controls. I think it needs to overhaul a bit more, because a lot of people, they're not learning the game enough from the tutorial. They're learning it from literally watching YouTube videos or just playing the game.
It's so incredibly out of date.
Yep.
All in all of this would push squad in a positive direction. For me, stuff like this will be more beneficial than bringing in more factions right now, especially even if it's just going to be a copy and paste faction.
Yeah.
What ideas would you like to...
Yeah, I think, like right now we need to concentrate on the core of it. Like, granted, I would love to see all the different types of factions. Like, I would love to see the French faction mod finally in the game, or the Bundeswehr German faction mod, in the game, or maybe even some maps too. But OWI needs to fix the core of the game, and Honcho is throwing some fucking. He is just cooking in this fucking kitchen, making some like excellent fucking cuisine here. Like, good God. But no, the last one, I wish Squad was set up like Squad 44, to have that such style of organization, and Honcho setting the boundaries, how many people you want in your squad for this reason only. And like, no, yes, but adding in the elements of, okay, because you made an armor squad or your logistics, only certain kits are available to you. Like, if you're a tow squad, or tow fob or morphob, you don't need a fucking hat kit. No, you don't need a hat kit. If you're going to be on that fob, you're going to be, your hat kit is essentially going to be fucking useless, and we could have used that in the front. That's what annoyed me so much. I've seen it too many times where people who are hat kits or something like that are on mortars for toes, which I'm like, dude, you have a kit that can take on a tank. Why are you on a fucking toe? Let someone else do that while you try to set yourself up and try to nail his ass. Yeah, I think these ideas would work out greatly.
See brought forward into squad to
Yep.
kickstart it into the right direction again. Let me know down in the comments down below
Oh,
or in my Discord.
I will definitely post down there in the comment. But no, I think it's just other things I can think of, to be honest. Take away pip optics, because every time I use an optic, I my frame rates go down by 20. And if the game's really chugging along, then basically I'm just running iron sights. I'm legitimately running iron sights. Go back to the original optic system, because you can't even use it with DLSS because it's either one or the other, fucker. It's literally one or the other. It's like the game basically saying, "Hey, fuck you," you know. So, but something, um, honestly, what core aspect wise, I think like, well, what I put down original, fucking supply crates, the ability to drop a supply crate from like a helicopter or something like that, or a truck. Like, I think that would help out a lot. That's Project Reality territory right there. Another thing I would like to see is reworking commander assets, basically. Like, depending on how the game goes, depends on the assets you have available. Which gives urgency of, if you do well, more will open up. But at the same time, the enemy commander could pull a Hail Mary play that's only available if they're getting their asses kicked. I like, let's say, hey, we're getting our asses kicked. Everyone's like needs to spawn in. Commanders be like, dude, just spawn in now. Fuck it, everyone spawns in. Right the no one no waiting. Spawn in right the fuck now. Like, just to have like a balance. But reworking commander assets. I know they did fast ropes. People have been waiting on fast ropes too for like a while now. That thing got we never seen fast tropes ever even implemented at all. It's kind of funny. I think also giving um the combat engineer, adding in more abilities to them, especially because, depending on the faction, they got nerfed not having mines. But if you give them something else like an additional C4 charge, or like a ladder to help go over walls or obstacles, I think that would be a good idea. Um, what else can I think of here? Like, I'm like thinking to myself, like, one thing I would love to see, even though it's so underutilized right now, is the clan patch system. I like get it up and running so clans can have their morale patches, and you can monetize this too. Have a morale patch, microtransactions for morale patches. There we go. I had to say. So it's like you can do, like, with morale patches, you can be like, okay, we can have a little fun here, not too much, but it'll be like, hey, here's a morale patch set for $5, and you can customize your character, and you can kind of make your character your own thing. It goes, hey, I got the morale patch, or hey, I'm with this clan. Here's our patch, basically. And they need to like revamp that system here, or just finally get the ball rolling on that. We've had that clan patch system in the game for a little bit, but it's not fully working or utilized right now, so it's useless. Also, the replay system's also been kind of useless. I would love to be able to go through my replays and just make some really awesome videos, but nah, that fucking thing doesn't work. But no, um, but yeah, I think that would be good. But that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Post down in the comment box, what do you think that will help with Squad? If you want to watch the original video and give Honcho some major props and likes as well, it'll be down in my description box below. Other than that, thank you all so much for checking it out. I do stream weekly on YouTube and Twitch. Also, don't forget that like button and subscribe. And feel free to join my Discord. Other than that, this is Geeky Panda here. I'm out. Stay geeky, my friends.